What if the wisest man in the world declared he knew nothing? Welcome to the paradoxical world of Socrates, a central figure in ancient Greek philosophy. Born in the vibrant city of Athens around 469 BCE, Socrates would come to revolutionize how we contemplate the world around us. His approach to philosophy was unorthodox, a method of inquiry known as the Socratic Method, which encouraged cooperative argumentative dialogue to stimulate critical thinking and expose the contradictions within one's beliefs. However, Socrates himself did not leave behind any written works. The knowledge we have of him is primarily derived from the accounts of his students, chiefly Plato and Xenophon, who meticulously documented his teachings and dialogues. This absence of direct writings adds an air of mystery to his persona, making him an enigma in the annals of philosophy. So who was this man who transformed the face of philosophy, yet left no writings of his own? Imagine a way of thinking that challenged every belief you held. Welcome to the Socratic Method. The Socratic Method, named after the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, is a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue that aims to stimulate critical thinking and reveal contradictions in one's beliefs. Picture it as a vigorous tennis match of the mind, where ideas are volleyed back and forth, examined and dissected in the pursuit of truth. Socrates, unlike many of his contemporaries, didn't lecture or write lengthy treatises. Instead, he engaged in dialogue. He believed that through questioning, individuals could uncover their own ignorance and eventually arrive at truth. It was a method that turned traditional education on its head. Rather than being fed information, students were encouraged to birth their own understanding through a process of rigorous questioning and self-examination. Socrates would often begin these dialogues by asking seemingly simple questions. What is courage? What is justice? But as the conversation progressed, it would become clear that these questions were anything but simple. They forced individuals to question their assumptions and values, to dig deep into their beliefs, and to confront their own contradictions. This process was not always comfortable. It could be disconcerting, disorienting even. But Socrates believed this discomfort was a necessary part of the journey towards wisdom. In this sense, the Socratic method was not just a teaching tool. It was a form of intellectual midwifery, helping individuals give birth to their own ideas and understandings. Socrates' relentless commitment to questioning made him a controversial figure. But it also laid the groundwork for a revolution in human thought. His method of inquiry has not only shaped the course of Western philosophy, but also has found its way into classrooms, courtrooms, and boardrooms around the world. The Socratic method was not just a technique, it was a way of life for Socrates. But what did he believe? The answer to that question, as we'll see, is as complex and intriguing as the man himself. Dive into a mind that saw knowledge and virtue as inseparable. This was the philosophy of Socrates. In the vibrant intellectual landscape of ancient Athens, Socrates stood as a beacon of moral and intellectual inquiry. His philosophy was a radical departure from the traditional notions of the time. For Socrates, knowledge was not just an accumulation of facts or a tool for worldly success. Instead, he saw knowledge as inherently linked to virtue, a guiding principle that could lead one towards a life of moral integrity and fulfillment. One of Socrates' most enduring contributions to philosophy is his famous declaration, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Rather than a pessimistic view of human intellect, this statement is a testament to the power of humility and intellectual curiosity. It's a call to never stop questioning, to keep pushing the boundaries of our understanding. Socrates believed that our unexamined beliefs often harbor contradictions, and through relentless questioning, he sought to expose these contradictions and stimulate critical thinking. His goal was not to win arguments, but to uncover truth. This process of dialectic questioning, known as the Socratic Method, became his signature approach to philosophical inquiry. Ethics was at the heart of Socrates' philosophy. He was less interested in the physical world or metaphysical speculations, and more focused on understanding the principles of ethical behavior and the nature of justice. To Socrates, the path to virtue was through knowledge, and the highest form of knowledge was self-knowledge. This emphasis on self-knowledge was a call for individuals to examine their own lives, to question their assumptions, and to strive for moral improvement. Socrates believed that an unexamined life was not worth living, and he dedicated his life to promoting this ideal of philosophical engagement. However, Socrates' pursuit of truth and moral integrity came at a great cost. His relentless questioning and refusal to comply with traditional beliefs made him a controversial figure in Athens, leading ultimately to his trial and execution. But even in the face of death, Socrates stood by his philosophical principles, demonstrating the depth of his commitment to truth and moral integrity. What happens when a society turns against its greatest thinker? The trial and execution of Socrates. In the twilight of the 5th century BCE, Socrates, the embodiment of intellectual curiosity and moral integrity, found himself at odds with Athenian society. Accused of corrupting the youth and impiety, a charge tantamount to treason in the deeply religious city-state, Socrates was put on trial. The accusations stemmed from his relentless questioning, which often led the youth to question traditional beliefs, and his refusal to acknowledge the conventional gods of Athens. The trial, a democratic procedure involving 500 citizen jurors, was a spectacle. Socrates, rather than bending to the will of the majority, chose to defend his philosophical principles. He articulated his belief in a moral duty to question assumed knowledge and to seek truth, even if it led to uncomfortable conclusions. In his eyes, the unexamined life was not worth living. The jury was not persuaded. Socrates was found guilty and sentenced to death by drinking a cup of poison hemlock. Yet even in the face of death, Socrates remained undeterred. As narrated in Plato's dialogues Apology and Phaedo, he met his end with tranquility, viewing it as a journey to a place where he could continue his philosophical inquiries. His choice to face death over renouncing his philosophical principles was not a defeat, but a testament to his unwavering commitment to truth and intellectual integrity. It's a tale that's been passed down through the ages, serving as a reminder of the potential dangers of free thinking in an intolerant society, and the courage it takes to stand by one's convictions. Socrates' trial and execution, more than a legal proceeding, was a dramatic clash between an individual and society, between old beliefs and new ideas, between unquestioned obedience and critical thinking. It was a turning point that marked the end of one era and the beginning of another in the history of philosophy. In death as in life, Socrates remained true to his principles, but his story doesn't end there. How does a man who claimed to know nothing continue to shape philosophy over 2 millennia later? The enduring legacy of Socrates. Socrates, the humble Athenian citizen who spent his days questioning the conventional wisdom of his time, has left a profound and lasting impression on the world of philosophy. His influence extends beyond the confines of ancient Greece, shaping the trajectory of Western philosophical thought and continuing to resonate within our contemporary discourse. Among Socrates' most notable disciples was Plato, who would go on to become one of the most influential figures in philosophical history. He was deeply impacted by Socrates' teachings, which he immortalized in his dialogues. In these written accounts, we see Socrates' relentless spirit, his dedication to intellectual inquiry, and his unwavering commitment to ethical conduct. These principles laid the groundwork for Plato's own philosophical system, propelling the development of metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics. Aristotle, a student of Plato, was another foundational figure in philosophy who was greatly influenced by Socratic thought. Despite diverging from his predecessors on several points, the Socratic emphasis on logical reasoning and ethical inquiry remained central to Aristotle's approach. His work, in turn, has shaped countless fields, from physics and biology to politics and poetry, demonstrating the far-reaching implications of Socratic philosophy. Yet the legacy of Socrates is not confined to his influence on these philosophical giants. His revolutionary method of dialogue, known as the Socratic Method, continues to be an essential pedagogical tool. Employed in classrooms, courtrooms, and boardrooms alike, this method of cooperative argumentative dialogue encourages critical thinking and facilitates a deeper understanding of complex ideas. By provoking us to question our assumptions, the Socratic method fosters intellectual growth and promotes an ongoing quest for knowledge. Moreover, Socrates' teachings continue to inspire and challenge us today. His emphasis on self-examination encourages us to scrutinize our beliefs and values, while his assertion that knowledge and virtue are inherently connected compels us to strive for wisdom and moral excellence. In a world often marked by complacency and uncritical acceptance, the spirit of Socratic questioning is a much-needed antidote. Socrates also serves as a powerful symbol of intellectual courage. His willingness to face death rather than renounce his principles is a stark reminder of the potential costs of uncompromising commitment to truth and integrity. Yet, it also underscores the transformative power of philosophical engagement, which can lead us to confront uncomfortable truths and challenge prevailing norms. From a humble Athenian citizen to a beacon of wisdom in the annals of philosophy, Socrates' journey is a testament to the transformative power of philosophical engagement. His life and teachings, preserved through the generations, continue to illuminate our path towards wisdom and virtue, underscoring the enduring relevance of his philosophy. The legacy of Socrates, then, is a testament to the power of ideas and the profound impact one individual can have on the course of human thought.